Hello and welcome to SeaCapeCod.net. This video blog presented by Michael Mosier offers a unique perspective on today's global political arena, our present and future environment, and an unfiltered glimpse of the truth, as truth is never in need of defending. So here he is, the star of the show, Michael Mosier.
Greetings and salutations from the sand, sun, and surf of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and the sunny, super-duper island of Nantucket. It's great to be with you on this Thursday morning, the 6th day of October, 2011. Another stunningly beautiful one out on Cotuit Bay. The temperatures in the 40s this morning, abundant sunshine galore, and majestic cumulus clouds above, whipping on by with a steady northeasterly flow as we will be graced with slightly warmer temperatures for the weekend, all sun, as Indian summer makes its home in New England once again. Late on Wednesday night, well, at least for me around 8:30 p.m., I was watching the best journalism offered on modern television today, and that, of course, is Countdown with Keith Olbermann, airing every weeknight at 8 p.m. EDT, live broadcast, with repeats of the broadcast coming in at 11 p.m., 2 a.m., 7 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. the next day, just in case you missed some of the facts that are always on Keith's dinner table when describing and explaining this crumbling democracy of ours. Keith always has the best and brightest, by way of guests, who bring some real sanity to this world where everything seems to invoke a plot of some sort that always resembles a Shakespearean tragedy, comedy, or history. Yes, later on Wednesday night, breaking news spread of several thousand protesters who broke off from tens of thousands of protesters in the new 50-statewide Occupy Wall Street movement. With that, tens of thousands of U.S. citizens marching in New York City yesterday decrying corporate greed and the ever-present cry out for justice in order to literally march down on the street that is at the epicenter of this movement, Wall Street itself, on the lower part of Manhattan, marching there in the darkness of night, only to be met with a seemingly equal number of NYPD officers who beat them, pepper-sprayed them, and arrested them en masse. Of these several thousand protesters moving on Wall Street itself, with many arrested and assaulted, bringing only more attention to a movement that will continue to grow in numbers and intensity, growing in proportion, or as a direct ratio, to the amount of people, the American people, who have been bushwhacked by a group of greedy plutocrats hell-bent on global domination, or at least a monopoly in their respective fields. Mr. Olbermann relayed the demands of these crazy kids, or as the right-wing nutjobs who have careers in the entertainment industry, I mean journalism, discipline, put it, a communist manifesto that leads to gas chambers and totalitarianism. You can take your pick who to credit for that one. You can take your pick who to credit that one to, for in my mind, they're all equally insane, as they, like their political puppet brethren, act as the bullhorn for these plutocrats who wish, as one protester signed down in the trenches stated, for all of the little people of America, you know, the 99%ers, to simply work, consume, and be silent. This declaration from the good folks at Occupy Wall Street, the seed of a new way in America, a longer version of our response to their previous actions, intentions, and attacks on our collective persons, environment, and country the way it was meant to be. With the shorter one being, go frack yourself, Republic Corps of America. Twice. And action. As we gather today in solidarity to express a feeling of mass injustice, we must not lose sight of what brought us together. We write so that people who feel wronged by the corporate forces of the world can know that we are your allies, as one people, united. We acknowledge the reality that the future of the human race requires the cooperation of its members, that our system must protect our rights, and upon corruption of that system, it is up to individuals to protect their own rights and those of their neighbors. That the democratic government derives its just power from the people, but Corporations do not consent to extract wealth from the people and the earth, and that no true democracy is attainable when the process is determined by economic power. We come to you at a time when corporations which place profit over people, self-interest over justice, and oppression over equality run our governments. We have peaceably assembled, which is our right, to let these facts be known. We have taken our houses through an illegal foreclosure process, despite not having the original mortgage. They have taken bailouts from taxpayers with impunity and continue to give executives exorbitant bonuses. They have perpetrated inequality and discrimination in workplaces based on age, the color of one's skin, sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation. They have poisoned the food supply through negligence and undermined the farming system through monopolization. They have profited off the torture, confinement, and the cruel treatment of countless animals and actively hide these practices. They have consistently sought to strip employees of the right to negotiate for better pay and safer working conditions. They have held students hostage with tens of thousands of dollars of debt on education, which is itself a human right. They have consistently outsourced labor and used that outsourcing as leverage to cut workers' health care and pay. They have influenced the courts to achieve the same rights as people, with none of the culpability or responsibility. They have spent millions of dollars on legal that look for ways to get them out of contracts in regard to health insurance. They have sold our privacy as a commodity. They have used the military and police force to prevent freedom of the press. They have deliberately declined to recall faulty products, endangering lives in pursuit of profit. They determine economic policy despite the catastrophic failures their policies have produced and continue to produce. They have donated large sums of money to politicians who are responsible for regulating them. They continue to block alternative forms of energy to keep us dependent on oil. They continue to block generic forms of medicine that could save people's lives or provide relief in order to protect investments that have already turned substantial profit. They have purposely covered up oil spills, accidents, faulty bookkeeping, and inactive ingredients in pursuit of profit. They purposely kept people misinformed and fearful through their control of the media. They have accepted private contracts to murder prisoners even when presented with serious doubts about their guilt. They continue to create weapons of mass destruction in order to receive government contracts. To the people of the world, we, the New York City General Assembly, occupying Wall Street and Liberty Square, urge you to assert your power. Exercise your right to peaceably assemble, occupying public space. Create a process to address the problems we face and generate solutions acceptable to everyone and accessible to everyone. To all communities that take action and form groups in the spirit of direct democracy, we offer support, documentation, and all the resources at our disposal. Join us and make your voices heard. A statement issued at Zuccotti Park on October 5th, 2011, New York, New York, by the General Assembly at Occupy Wall Street on day 20. That pretty much sums it up, folks, so stay tuned. Same bad channel, same bad station. Not to be confused, of course, with the batshit crazy station of Fox News or many of its sister stations. You know, some of the other corporate-owned news stewed stations that offer up whatever the likes of a Brothers Coke will allow. Hope it's a nice coffee shop, Jack. Credit the film Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. Preserve the wilderness. Peace, Michael.